What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Parking Lot YouTube channel. And welcome back to the Parking Lot Show here on YouTube.
Hello.
We got first off, a couple of things. First off, we got a new intro song for you guys. We really liked having the intro song during the hockey show, so we have one for you. The link to what that intro song is down below. It was an old NBA on NBC. Who knows when that's coming back? So we can take that. Get off my ass, Susan. Anyway, other than that, so the intro song is linked below. We also have our social medias linked below, so you can guys check us out on Twitter and also on Instagram. And also, we have a Discord server that we're opening up to the public. We want as many people on this Discord server just talking sports and chatting shit. So please join the Discord server because we would love to have as many of you on. And finally, to the big one, we have a very special guest. He has gotten a lot of views for doing YouTube compilations of urinating tree and making himself look like an idiot. It's the one, the only, all the way from Toronto, Canada. It's Cooper Hernick. Welcome to the show, my friend.
I'm Cooper Hernick. Go follow me at Cooper Hernick on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all the social medias.
His YouTube channel is linked in the description below as well if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah.
His YouTube
and
channel
on there you can go look at my link tree from YouTube and go check out all my other social medias. I do a lot on social media. Let's get into the show.
So it is Hernick, right? Your last name is Hernick?
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it?
Spot on.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Spot on pronunciation.
I was just making sure. So just a little bit of a intro just for the people who don't know. So like I said, you're from Toronto, Canada, which means that you're a big-time Blue Jays fan.
Oh, he's wearing the jersey.
Yeah.
Well, he's wearing the jersey, but like on his Twitter, you posted a lot of, at least retweets and also yourself posting a lot of Blue Jays content, and just like the updates on the team and stuff.
If you look at my YouTube channel, I did post-game recaps of every Blue Jay game last year during the summer, and as much as I could because I just love talking baseball. I was so happy last year on YouTube when the Blue Jays were in the playoffs. It felt so good because they're so ahead of schedule in terms of their rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
And I honestly, I'm going to get into it later, but I think that they have a chance of maybe being in a World Series this year.
That's not a hot take. That's possible.
That is definitely possible.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays are right now in spring training in Arizona or Florida. What do we say?
Florida.
They're in Florida?
They're in Florida.
Indeed, Florida.
Have they already decided what they're going to do for opening day, where they're going to be?
Yeah, they're going to be playing in Dunedin until about May or June, and then they'll be going to either Buffalo or Toronto, depending on if our borders open.
That's really good to hear. So
yeah.
Hopefully that all works out in the end. So just a couple of things I want to open up with. It's not every day that you get to talk to somebody who's not generating in the U.S. Like, obviously, we all know the impacts the NBA, the NFL, NHL. We know the impacts that they all have here in the States. But I want to ask, in leagues where there's not as much of a dominance, so the NFL, where they have no Canadian football teams whatsoever there, and then the MLB and the NHL, where there's only one or possibly, the MLB and the NBA, where there's only one team that's in Canada. What are the impacts to this? Do you see like a really big, like everybody still follows an NBA team because it's the best basketball league out there? Or is there like just not as much of a market for it?
So with the NBA, I probably have a different opinion than someone that lives in like Vancouver or like in Nunavut or in a different place. But I do follow the team that's closest to me. Is I'm a Blue Jay fan, I'm a Raptor fan, I'm a Leaf fan. Even if it was soccer, I'd probably cheer for TFC. If it was CFL, I'd probably cheer for the Argos. And if it was NFL, I'd cheer for my Bills because they're the closest team. And if they were to move to Toronto, I would be a huge fan of that. And I think that they probably should because we would give them a really good stadium.
That is definitely true.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo, if the team keeps on doing as dominant as they are, Buffalo should get the fuck out of Buffalo. Get the hell out of there. That's actually not a bad idea, moving to Toronto.
Yeah, it's been proposed for a while. They've been talking about it, but it didn't happen. I think it might happen now.
Maybe the way how Jacksonville is, they could move to Toronto instead of England.
Yeah, Jacksonville going to England.
Yeah, that'd be much
Yeah,
better.
but I don't know how Shahid Khan would feel about being in Canada because he's probably used to being in warm weather.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Go ahead, Tanner.
And it's all
I
about the
do have
owner.
a question.
Money flows one way.
Yeah. Do you think the Sky Dome is still an adequate enough stadium to host a team? If they move, if an NFL team moved to Toronto, or
I think if we got an NFL team, they most likely would not be playing in the Rogers Center,
okay,
because that the Rogers Center it's built for baseball. When the Argos played in the Rogers Center, tons of people said that it was definitely not built for football because it was more built for
that's
seeing
what I've
a
heard.
nice line drive, not for seeing an NFL pass.
That's very interesting.
That's what.
They
That's why
play
the
in
Argos
BMO
currently play
Field.
in BMO Field. So they would probably build a new stadium, probably close to the lake, because we have
Okay.
a beautiful skyline here, guys. If you haven't seen it,
I have not. Honestly, one of the destinations I do want to go to is Toronto one day.
Me too.
Because that would probably just be beautiful, probably very pretty.
Oh yeah.
Canada has a nice skyline. I went there once.
Oh yeah.
I went to Niagara Falls on the Canadian border, and it was beautiful.
Oh. Yeah, no, definitely. Canada is definitely one of the places I really do want to go, because it would be really nice to see. So yeah, I would guess that if there was an NFL team, they'd probably just like almost do like a Chargers thing where they're sharing a stadium with somebody else, and they'd probably share the CFL stadium. I would guess.
Yeah, or they would share that stadium temporarily, kind of like what the Argos originally did in the Rogers Center. Is they would definitely need their own big stadium, which would probably cost us taxpayers a lot. But that's how money flows.
I've never had to pay taxes, and B, I've never had to live in an area that has a new stadium built, so I never know what the taxes are like. That's probably another thing we should ask. We should ask somebody who's ever had to live in an era where they were building a new stadium and what that meant for their taxes.
So
you should ask a Vegas resident.
Oh yeah. That's a good
Florida.
point.
So in Florida, if you go to a hotel, there's a tax for the bed, and you know why we have that?
Florida man.
These guys.
Oh.
Marlins, because of the stadium.
A tax on
Is that only
bed?
in
Yes.
the Miami County?
No, that's all of Florida.
What?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A tax? That makes no sense.
I know
to
that.
me.
There's a bed tax.
I know that how the Raiders were able to get their stadium was because of the hotel room tax, which
yeah.
an extra like $10 on hotel rooms.
I'm pretty sure they did that
Vegas.
before there was a stadium, because Vegas makes big time money on those hotels. So I bet you they did it before there was a team there.
So
no, but I know they jacked it up even more because they wanted to pay for that stadium.
Damn.
That's how it gets paid for.
That is very true. That's how that stuff get paid for.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Coopers. So Canada loves the NBA. I mean, the first NBA game was in Toronto. Do you see possibly in the future, another Canadian city having an NBA team? And if so, which cities? So,
I think that the two cities are probably the best. It's a big time tie between Vancouver and Montreal. There's positives and negatives for each of them. Vancouver has even higher taxes there, I'm pretty sure. And Montreal, they would probably have a hard time adjusting to the American-ish culture because they're still very much like almost a French-only society in Quebec. So it'd be really hard to adjust to that heavy American culture that the NBA has. So for that reason, I think that Vancouver's probably the best because they're like basically Seattle 2.0.
I gotta ask because the NBA and the MLB all have one team in Canada, and it's in Toronto. Is there a reason? Is Toronto basically like the downtown of Canada? There's no city that's as downtown city like as Toronto, or is it just that's just the first city they wanted to try out?
It's most likely because it's the biggest city. Is I'm currently in one of the suburbs of Toronto because in the entire suburban in the entire like GTA and Toronto center, there's like over 5 million people at least, I think. So it's the most populated city in Canada. So that's probably the reason why in 1995 why the NBA came here, and then in 1977 why the MLB came here.
Though the first team in Canada was the Expos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know why that would have been, but
That was
maybe
after
it's because
the Olympics, though. I think.
That's how that was their stadium. That's how they
yeah.
got the big O.
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe that was the reason.
Yeah, no, because it's just very interesting that like there's definitely a market to put more teams. Toronto gets like a big attendance
Yeah,
most of the time, so it's really funny that like Toronto was the first one to pick, just because like again none of us has been to Canada, so we would all like not really know. But it's funny that Toronto was like the first one to get picked.
it's probably only because of population size.
Probably.
Because
Yeah.
Toronto's a massive city. Like we're kind of people like to say it's a mini version of New York, which it pretty much is.
Mm.
But
You know,
just take the word mini to an extreme because our population isn't as densely packed as
yeah.
New York
Oh, yeah,
is.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Probably like Atlanta or
Oh, yeah.
a city in the South.
It's funny because Cooper sits in the in our little geography little format we got here. You are
Yeah,
when it comes to where we're all from, we're either in a place that's too damn hot or it's too damn cold. It's neither either way.
There's no middle
Well,
ground.
Joey,
Joey
Joey's
lives
the
in
closest.
Denver, Colorado. It's too damn cold.
Colorado
yeah,
Springs.
in both Denver and Minnesota, as Tanner is as he lives. Those are
Yeah,
both
I'm from
places that are
Minnesota.
way colder than it is here.
Yeah, no, because it's so like you're from Toronto. We have Tanner who's from Minnesota. We have Joey from Denver, and then we have three of our co-hosts from Southern California. We have myself who's living in Arizona, and then we have Chris up there in Florida. So we're either too far north or we're too down south. It's never in between. It's not in the
We need to
middle.
get someone from like St. Louis.
Exactly. Somebody from St. Louis or like Iowa or something
Yeah.
like that. Just something.
You realize where
even
Iowa is,
that's
right?
pretty cold there.
Yeah, they got the crops. Though.
Wouldn't Iowa be pretty cold?
I don't know. I've never been to Iowa.
No,
Yes,
they're
it
close
would.
to Minnesota.
All right then.
We border them.
Okay. I'm not taking
Just
classes
saying-
in geography. I don't need to know this.
We need someone from like either St. Louis or Tennessee just to be in the middle.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, yeah. I think because like we always talk about that because especially like around like December we were all comparing the weather around here because Chris said it was feeling really nice. He wanted snow. Joey and Tanner were both done with the snow.
Right? I think I said that because I was in Latin America. It was hot as.
Oh
as
yeah.
fuck over
Oh,
there.
I bet Latin America would be worse.
Yeah. I can't imagine it being that hot.
Well, what are
Because
what are
when I
Toronto
see
summers
like
like?
weather almost at 40 Celsius, I freak out when I see places that are that hot. What were you saying?
What are Toronto summers like though?
Pretty humid.
Oh, all right. So Joey, you fit right in.
it's went
Or
up-
not Joey, to Chris, you fit right in.
Oh god, don't know that. I fucking hate the humidity.
No, but you guys get more of like the beating sun. We get more of those those cloudy but like really humid days.
It just
At least
we get the
to our
sun and
standards.
and that mugginess.
it just sounds.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Florida does have that mugginess.
It just sounds.
Because you guys have all the swampland.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Miami was all swampland until the late 1800s.
Exactly.
And you guys know
Like,
how Florida formed. It was basically just a bunch of like shark teeth and like sand that just became one flat landmass.
hmm And we have our own
So
superhero.
You have a super.
Florida man.
Oh yeah, Florida
Florida.
man. Florida man.
Oh yeah.
Florida man.
We have
How could I
Florida
forget
man
it?
and his mascot, the Gators.
Has Florida man committed any hijinks recently?
No, I haven't seen, but I know the Gators have.
The Gators are on the
And
prowl.
next time Joey says something, I'm just gonna throw him to the Gators. That's it.
Just throw him at the Gators.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't feed the Gators. Do I just throw Joey in here?
don't. Yeah, just throw Joey. Yo, I've been to Gatorland. That place is fun. Anyway,
Last time I was in Florida, I remember feeding the gators down there. That was pretty fun.
yeah, it's pretty fun to
One
do.
of the many fun things that there are down there.
Back on topic though. So yeah, as we talked about, Montreal Expos used to be the baseball team in Canada, and then they left. What did the Montreal Expos became anything? Did they relocate?
They became the
Nationals.
The Nationals. So the Expos became the Nationals, and then you said the Blue Jays came into the league. What year?
77.
77. Not bad. Probably funny that Montreal is the only place.
And then
yeah, go ahead.
And then they had their back-to-back World Series championships in '92 and '93. And we haven't made it back there, but I expect us to be back there in the next like 1 to 2 years, probably.
It's fine because nobody here has recently won a World Series, at least in this call, before Alex gets here, the Dodger fan.
I was 10 the last time the Marlins.
Oh, he's a
won the
Dodger
World
fan.
Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Dodgers fan.
But besides Alex, everybody here has also not been to a World Series in a long time, so we're all in pain. We've all seen the glory, but we have not touched it.
One of my cousins used to live in Toronto, but she moved to LA like a while back, like when Dodger Stadium was being built, and she's had season tickets since it was open. She was actually given them
Oh wow.
right behind the original plate. They moved the added more seats, so she makes a fortune off those.
Oh yeah, I bet. Oh yeah, I bet they go for a really big price.
Yeah, it was Dodger Stadium. I was there a couple years ago and a beautiful stadium.
It
One
is.
of the best.
Yeah, no, they definitely have a
Yeah.
really
Yes.
beautiful stadium.
I went to all the California parks a couple years back, except for Petco. Is that we missed that one?
This is something people don't know about. I think Petco is actually a really nice ballpark. I really like Petco Park.
It is.
I wish we made it for that game, but we didn't make it for that game.
Oh, that sucks.
Which one was the best stadium in California, Cooper?
Yeah, but that's why I really wish that we didn't miss that game.
Mm-hmm.
No. Which one out of the ones that you went to? Which one was the best in your opinion?
The best.
Yeah.
It's almost a tie between Dodger and is it Oracle Park now? I think it's Oracle.
Yeah, it's Oracle Park.
It's
Where the Giants play.
which one's Oracle Park?
The Giants Stadium.
It used to be AT&T.
San
It's
Francisco.
not AT&T Stadium no more.
No, it changed to
No.
Oracle last year.
Like last year.
I don't remember this. I didn't remember this happening. Damn it!
Which one was the worst one in your opinion? I think I know which one it is.
I think we all know which one it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the Coliseum, but
Yeah.
the Coliseum, it does have a little bit of like a kind of feel to it.
It has
Yeah,
a
it's
charm
character.
It
to
was
it.
kind of nice to feel it, even though I did feel like I probably was gonna get shot after the game.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
I'm not joking.
Here's the thing. If you'd ever been to Oakland Coliseum, like, they have the two stadiums, they have the parking lot surrounding it. It's really nice. The minute that you leave the stadiums, it's broken down neighborhoods everywhere.
Yeah.
So you're afraid for your
And
life because you think that you're about to be shot up.
If you, we took the BART to the stadium because we were staying in San Fran for a week when we were there, and that stadium, that subway line is so much more dirty than our subways here.
Oh my god.
Our public transportation here is literally like immaculate.
Oh really? Ooh.
And it was so eye opening, everything, and especially with it being fireworks night, the night we went at the Coliseum. So I thought it was gunshots when we first walked out.
As you were going away.
Oh man.
My god. And
oh god.
This is not athletics fans. We're not hating on your stadium. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys even know that your stadium is run down, but still.
Yeah, but I think I was hearing new rumors about a new stadium being built.
I think I remember hearing rumors about
Howard
that too.
Terminal.
And also, athletic fans, I'm going to thank you. Thank you for Marcus Simeon. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness.
He is a good shortstop.
Here's the funny thing, though. Canada will be the only place that a manager got a mascot ejected from a game. That's the only thing Canada has over the U.S.
Yeah, Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy Lasorda.
God damn it, Alex, hurry up.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm pretty sure even Alex was like, yeah, Tommy Lasorda is fucking crazy. Pretty sure even Alex would agree, like, yeah, Lasorda's crazy for doing that.
Ejected.
Got a mascot ejected. Oh my god, bro. If any of the have you ever been like but if you ever be like a minor league game, they'd probably also be ejected because they're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I said this once. I'm gonna say it again to our U.S. viewers. Please go to a minor league baseball game. You won't regret it. It's so much fun. This is not even like a.
I've been to a minor league game actually as a Canadian guy. I've been to the Bison Stadium a couple times. Great stadium, one of the best. Allen Field used to be called Coca-Cola Field. I still sometimes call it that.
So I'd like to ask Cooper a question. Were you a fan around 2015,
There's probably
2016?
a lot of minor league like single A stadiums near you in Arizona, right?
No, they're in California.
No. I thought you said you were in Arizona.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, but the single A stadiums are in California, not Arizona. Arizona gets the
but the spring.
Well, yeah, I get all the I have
facilities.
the spring training fields, but those are rookie leagues, not single A teams. The single A teams have their own stadiums in California. Because I used to live in Southern California, so I know all about single A teams.
Oh.
But anyway, Tanner had a question though for you, Cooper.
Were you a fan around 2015?
I think this thing's still loading. It says on mine.
Okay.
Are you guys able to see him? Because
we see in here, Tanner. Tanner, go ahead.
Were you a Jays fan around 2015, 2016?
If he's talking, I don't hear him.
He said that if you were a fan of the
were you a Blue Jays fan around 2015, 2016?
Yeah, 100%. I literally watched every game. I still watch every game now, but I watched every game, watched every highlight, watched every hype video. I was even more of a fan than I am now, and that's not saying I'm not a fan now, but that's what drew me in to being a huge baseball fan.
Tanner, I'm guessing you're mentioning it because the Bautista bat flip.
And
I was actually about to mention my bat flip story. I remember the exact place I was.
I wanted to ask you that. Okay, bottom of the seventh, Game 5, 2015 NLDS. Go ahead.
So
from the moment that it all started.
So I was at a family friend's house with a bunch of other people, Um, I think I was either sitting on their floor or I was sitting on their couch. There's a lot of people, and I think I probably screamed the top of my lungs. When that happened, because that was such a great moment.
It was. I
Yeah,
was watching it on TV, and like I could
and then the rest of
hear.
that inning, with all the fighting.
No, because it all started with the. It was when the catcher threw the ball and it hit the knob of the bat.
Shin
Yeah.
Shin
That's when it
Chu.
all started.
And
When it hit.
that rule is such bullshit.
Oh
That
yeah.
rule.
But there's another.
Oh yeah.
Pardon
What?
to,
Oh yeah.
how-
What was the second thing, Tanner? What was the second thing? I'll reiterate to him.
Did you feel that not only Toronto but in the entire nation of Canada was behind the Jays at that time, or
Do you feel like in that game
or
that not only the city of Toronto was behind the Blue Jays that day, but also the entire country of Canada? Do you think that they were all behind the Blue Jays that game?
Yeah, I think maybe even the entire world.
I mean, that was a
I think
glorious.
everyone's behind
That was a
Toronto.
glorious, just moment
was
in MLB history.
Oh,
Really.
and speaking of that ball, I think I remember like a couple years back, I went to a Dave and Buster's, up in the suburbs here, and the person that was serving us, she was telling us that one of her friends was the person who caught that ball, and she still has it.
oh, nice,
That could go for
No.
like
I was amazed.
millions.
yes,
Those home
And
run.
I think that the person, that told me that was with her, the person that caught it.
Oh my goodness, because that ball is probably worth millions if you said you had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, one thing I gotta address, and if I need to Google search this, I can. What's the currency conversion rate of the Canadian dollar and the American dollar? I'm just curious.
I'm pretty sure it's like 30% might be.
30%.
Let me search it. Canada
Okay,
to
Google that.
Because I know that it takes. I know it takes more Canadian. I know the
so
U.S.
if I was to spend $1 Canadian in the U.S., I would I would be spending 81 cents of your currency.
Yeah, because I know the Canadian dollar is more expensive.
Technically, it's your dollar. It's more expensive because
Yeah, it's our dollar more expensive.
Yeah, our dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying, cause I'm trying to think, cause like it's not every day that you get to like talk to somebody, cause like we all know that the Toronto Raptors exist, we all know the Toronto Blue Jays exist, but we really don't know like the impact of MLB baseball or NBA basketball or in fact NFL football. So that's another thing. Do you think that in Canada there's a lot more hype and a lot more of a market share and interest in Canadian football than there is NFL, or do you think that NFL is still prominent in Canada even though the Canadian football exists?
So if you ask someone that lives in Toronto or the GTA, they'll say the NFL is prominent and more prominent. But if you ask someone in anywhere else, they will say they're a much bigger CFL fan.
Okay.
Like if you ask someone in like Saskatchewan, because they have the Rough Riders, that's probably the most popular team, I'm pretty sure, and they're crazy for them. Like that's like NFL.
Alex is here.
Alex is here.
hey Alex,
I am back.
So,
Hello, Fred. Sorry, I had an errand, and yes.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go. Were you gonna say something?
And you're the one that's a Dodger fan, right?
Yes, I'm the Dodger.
Yes, he's the Dodger fan.
Yeah.
Hey, Lasorda. Hey,
I'll go-
Lasorda's crazy, right? Lasorda's a
Was
nutcase.
crazy. He was kind of a cool crazy because he could beat up the Philly fanatic.
Yeah, that is right. He beat
Yeah.
the shit out of the Philly fanatic.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. He beat the shit out of the fanatic.
Beat up the Philly fanatic, and then he also got Youppi thrown out of a game.
Yeah, so we were
That's what
talking
we were
about
talking
that.
about.
We were talking
We
about
were
that because it
talking
happened at an Expos game. which I didn't.
It did happen in X.
No other sport has had a mascot thrown out. And I'm like, yeah, well, no other sport has had Tommy Lasorda. The guy's freaking one of a
Yeah.
kind.
He was a legend for what he did to mascots.
Oh yeah, he hated them with a passion.
Yeah.
That's probably the reason why the Dodgers mascot is not a real fucking mascot. It's a bobblehead.
We don't really
It's a
have
fucking
mascots.
bobblehead that sits
mascots.
outside of Dodger Stadium.
They have a
Ask
mascot.
Cooper a question now because
It's not really a mascot because it's not a suit that walks around the ballpark and says, "Hi, kids." It's literal like
Mr. Met.
giant ass bobblehead that sits outside of
Remind
Dodger
me, Coop,
Stadium.
are the Blue Jays? The Blue Jays just have a guy with a giant bird like thingy, kind of like the Arizona Cardinals with blue, right?
Yeah, that's Ace.
That's Ace.
He's
His name's Ace.
very popular among Blue Jay fans.
Oh. Hey,
I actually have
Angels
a
don't
lot of
mascot
pictures
either.
with him, I think.
Well, actually, come to
So,
think
I
of it,
think
not a
three
lot
of-
of MLB teams in general have mascots. Come to think of it, it's just not an MLB
I
thing
think
to have
three
a
of us do. You got the bear. I got Billy the
Bear.
Marlin.
Angels don't have one.
Yeah.
Angels don't have one.
We have the rally monkey, but he doesn't walk around.
He doesn't
Oh,
walk.
yeah,
Yeah,
speaking
so
of
the
the
rally
Angels,
monkey doesn't walk around, but like it's still like it's not really more of a mascot per se. It's more of like like an angel spirit animal. Like
Yeah.
Like,
Like-
the
Angel
rat
in
with
the
the
outfield.
Panthers.
the rally
Cooper,
monkey.
I have a few questions
The-
for you, man.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna ask. So this has been polarizing for me because I don't really have any ill will against the Blue Jays. In fact, they gave us one of my favorite players as a kid was Sean Green, one of my favorite outfielders in all of baseball. I don't know. I'm curious just to see your take on the new acquisitions now, because obviously I was sad when the Dodgers let Hyunjin Ryu go, but I was curious to see how he would do with Toronto, who had a declining sort of younger core at that point, but I feel like he could give them some life. And then on the other opposite, you have George Springer, a player I deathly hate because of his time with the Astros and his involvement.
So with the Springer signing, I was at first I was thinking this is not a good move for PR reasons, but then I decided I'm gonna jump on the George Springer bandwagon because I better forget about it because I just have to forget about it because he's a
He's your
great
player.
player
He's your star
Yeah.
center fielder now.
Yeah.
and he'll be here for 6 years I think, so I have to get used to him.
Oh, he's yours now.
That is
Yeah.
true.
And the Houston Cheaters, they can keep the rest of their team. You know what really surprised me? That AJ Hinch got a job again.
Oh, that's right.
He got
And
a
then
job
Yeah.
again.
Detroit.
Alex Cora too.
He's
with
with
Detroit.
Detroit.
Oh,
I was
my
actually-
God.
I was watching the Blue Jays versus Tigers spring training game, and it was the Tigers broadcast, and they interviewed
Oh.
Hinch, and he did not sound like he was remorseful at all for not like paying attention to the cheating.
That's
Of course he's not
fucking-
gonna be.
Are you shitting?
He's got a ring on his finger.
The
Are you
Dodgers,
shitting?
the Dodgers fans are kind of like I'm saying, you'll probably agree, kind of like the Raiders fans of the NFL. They study that and then they use that to such a severe tactic. Like, I bet you if the Tigers ever come to LA, they're gonna be heckled relentlessly.
It's like a telltale game.
Bro,
Dodgers fans will never forget that.
Bro, the Dodgers players were the only team to retaliate. Like, I think at least the only one that made like major headlines for that issue. Like, all the other times that players have retaliated were just like other things, like pitches were thrown behind the back, yada yada
Yeah.
yada. The Dodgers were the only person with Joe Kelly walking away, like actually going fuck you, buddies," and actually like had a full-on brawl just from
Yeah.
that one.
Cooper, actually, would you say that it was similar in the sense of like when you guys had a heated playoff rivalry against the Rangers back in the day? Like obviously, though neither team.
Would I
cheated,
say they had a
but
heated playoff?
Would you say that was?
I would
like,
say it was really heated.
Would you compare it? Would you compare it to
But that wasn't
Houston?
only a
Would you compare it to the Astros Dodgers though? Would you compare it to that, or or do you think Astros Dodgers is more heated or less heated?
Well, let's put myself back into the shoes of 2015-16.
Well, I have another question: Is would you
probably
have
not
glorified?
because
Sorry, go ahead.
it was just it was just punches and bat flips compared to cheating and
I
winning a World Series
That
that,
is
was
very true.
fraudulent.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah,
you still
point
have
there.
glorified Batista's actions in that, or would you have just seen him as like a nod man out from that, or?
Would I do what to Batista's actions?
Well, like, what was your stance on that with the whole bat flip and everything? I've
That is
always
very
wondered this
true.
from a Blue Jays.
I
I've
was
always
happy
wondered
to
this
see
from a
it.
Blue Jays perspective. You really?
Is
Well, yeah, obviously for the
Jose
hit, but
Bautista. He's overcame so much adversity in his playing career. He used to be a terrible player back when he was with the Pirates
true.
and even before that, and he became so good with the Blues. And look at all the drama that happened before. He just wanted to do that to say, "Bleep you." I'm not going to say the word. I just want to say bleep
you can
you
say it.
to
You can
the
say it.
Rangers and their fans, rooting Odor, who actually, my family and I, we call him Stinky because Odor, Stinky.
Call him Mr. Odor. Call him Ruffy
Rather
Odor.
I'd rather get
Yeah, it's
punched
another
out in
one.
October than clock out in May.
Odor is the only fucking person to fucking throw an actual real punch as an MLB
You know
player.
what-
Yeah,
That kind of reminds me of those. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember this. Chris Tanner might, but Zinedine Zidane in that.
Oh, the headbutt.
The headbutt!
You can
In
say
the
that.
The
final.
World Cup
that,
final
my
literally
for the shootout.
god, the
kind of
headbutt.
from his perspective on Batista, like I was thinking like, oh, Zidane's an asshole for doing that. What's your problem with that? What I didn't realize is Materazzi called his mother like several names from the sidelines when she had front row seats. So in Zidane's defense, he was kind of like in the sense of Batista, though he came from a rougher upbringing because he was a star player for a while, but he was still always really good to his family. And so the minute you go against his family and start talking crap, then I can understand why he did that. The same, I guess, goes for Batista.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I completely remember that.
Cooper, did you ever watch that part of the World Cup semifinals in '06?
It was the final, actually.
It was the
Oh, it was the
final. It
final,
was
right,
right before the
Italy.
shootout.
uh, I never watched that, but I'm imagining what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ask him about the CFL yet?
Well, we asked him. Well, we asked him. In Canada, where there would be more attention, if the NFL or the CFL has more attention, and it kind of goes
Yeah,
back
and
to our.
that the CFL is more popular in every part of Canada that's not Toronto and the GTA.
But it kind of goes back to what we were talking about.
What
the
about like British Columbia, like the West Coast? Like what's does it have the same kind of impact there or no?
In British Columbia, I've never been there, but from what I know, they follow the BC Lions, which are their CFL team,
Oh, that's right.
and I wouldn't be
Oh, then you got-
surprised if they're Seahawks fans also.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
But it kind of just goes to the fact that Canada really only has any teams that you would actually be able to support is all in Toronto. So obviously Toronto is going to care about the NFL because they have those big time NBA and MLB teams. So obviously they're going to care about the NFL. But because all of those other cities have no affiliation to it, they're like, well, who gives a crap
now,
about
Cooper,
the
did you
NFL?
ever
My
go-
team is in Canada. I'll go to cheer for CFL. So it kind of goes back on that whole point.
Now, Cooper, did you ever go to any of when the Bills used to actually play games at the Sky Dome? Did you ever actually go to any of those? Or
I wish I did, but I
How
didn't.
long ago was that,
I
bro?
think my dad. Yeah.
that's kind of. My question, actually, why did they cease doing that in 2014? Because that was actually kind of cool. It actually drew really well for them.
Because they sent
It was probably to
England
test out the Canadian market to see if they could have enough attention, which they definitely do have attention in Canada.
They do, honestly.
So I was looking at a
They do
poll,
a
and
game in
apparently
Mexico.
yeah, no, right. I was looking at a poll though, but they're saying that the Patriots have more of a market share in like the Toronto metro area than the Bills do, which I find kind of weird.
That is
But
weird.
well, would you say
I
Would you say-
definitely
would you-
do know a lot of Patriots fans. So
up here or up in Toronto?
yeah,
Interesting.
one of my good buddies, he's kind of a Patriots fan. He's kind of a bandwagon of all teams.
Yeah.
I know a guy that's a diehard Patriots fan, like before Tom.
Wow.
Well,
Oh.
in fairness, I mean they're not. It's the proximity. I mean they're not very far away. But how many of them would you say have you seen a whole lot of Bills fans up there, or Giants fans, or? or even Detroit. Well, there's no one likes the Lions in a bandwagon sense, but
Yeah, but I can't imagine someone willingly wanting to be a Lions fan
You need
No.
chicken
unless
soup.
they
he's not wrong. He's not
they have
wrong.
like major depression.
Exactly.
Franchise, you'd have to like have a heart of stone to follow the Lions.
Something
Yeah,
No,
you know the
anything
Pat
but
McAfee
Detroit.
show that Evan Foxy.
Oh yeah, he's
yeah.
from Michigan. He's from Michigan, so he's gonna be a Lions fan.
Yeah, so that guy, I feel so bad for him. And how do you guys feel about Dan Campbell
Oh God, I don't know how to describe it.
biting some kneecaps?
I think it's like a vanity signing. I think it's only a vanity signing in name, kind of like Tebow. Well, no, I'd say obviously a much bigger role, but to me it just screams like the vibes I got from when Tebow signed with the Mets. It's just a vanity signing to get people to pay attention. Oh, look, we got a celebrity guy. Come check out our team. He's going to be running our organization. He probably isn't going to do a whole lot, but he's on our team.
Oh,
if you
Mets
wanna see
never dies.
Yeah, now he's retired. Like 4 years later after he originally signed, without even playing a major league game.
Mackay Wilson in our chat said you would have to have lost a bet to follow the Lions. He is not wrong. That that honestly, you could make that a fantasy football bet. If you are last place and lose fantasy football, you have to buy like a Lions jersey or like a Lions shirt.
You know what though? That's the easiest thing. If you had one of those.
If it's Barry Sanders, then I'm fine.
If it's Sanders. Nah, you have to get Stafford. Piss off other Lions fans.
Oh, right as he's leaving. No, you have to get Jared Goff.
Oh, you have to get Goff. Oh, yeah, get a Goff jersey.
Yeah,
piss him off even more. Piss him off even more. Be a Jared Goff fan and piss him off even more.
You have to get Dan Orlovsky. You have to get Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
I did want to ask something, Cooper. I want to ask, have you actually been to like CFL games and watched CFL games?
I've watched them on TV, but I haven't seen them in person. One of my dad's he's kind of a work friend. He used to play linebacker for the Argos, and his father played for the Argos, and now his father is the broadcaster for the Argos.
Awesome.
Ooh.
I have to ask, is it still good football? Like, would you say that there's still some good skill to it?
Of the football I've seen from it, I would say there is a good amount of skill. But you're definitely not getting the same amount of talent that you would get in most other leagues, because there is a rule that, like, I think it's 20% of your team has to be Canadian, at least.
Oh, really?
Well, that's for marketing reasons.
Yeah. So it's hard to field a good team of mostly
NFL
Canadian.
Europe had that
But
rule.
it's more the Canadian football is more inclined to rugby, I think, because it's more kicking.
Is it true? Isn't that kind of true? Isn't it like Canada for like radio broadcasts? Like radio stations have to have a percentage of Canadian artists on there.
Yeah. That actually is true, and it's also true with Netflix.
So how much like Theory of a Dead Man, Celine Dion, and Nickelback do you get?
Oh, I forgot. No, Alex, we are not
man.
okay.
Alex.
Disregard that question. If any of you guys know Alex Moreno, we are never talking music on this show. So, Alex, keep that to yourself. We are never talking music on the show because it never goes well. It never goes well, bro.
Man probably had Simple Plan and Jesse Reyes pounded into his subconscious.
Oh my God. Disregard that question because disregard it. Pray that we'll never have to go into that. Disregard that. Anyway, oh my God. But that's funny that they have a rule that there has to be a certain percentage of the team, because I know that NFL Europe did that. They had to you had to have a certain number of players from that town when NFL had a league
kickers.
and team in
That's
Europe.
funny.
And they're probably
kickers.
all kickers, yeah. Well, yeah, because that's all like the rugby stuff. A lot of
like Adam Vinatieri. That's how he became a thing. NFL Europe.
And it's really funny as well. What was I gonna say? Yeah, because they're all kickers. But like, especially if you had like a team in Australia, a lot of those players from there actually would try out and go to an NFL team because rugby was a big thing and kicking is a big thing in rugby. So it worked out if you want to be an NFL kicker. Because I remember I saw a documentary about that. They followed one player who tried out in Australia and actually made it on an NFL roster.
Guys, I found sorry to interject, but I found out why the Bills don't play a game. I just looked up why the Bills don't play a game in Toronto anymore.
Oh no, go ahead.
It's because of a notable character out of Toronto, Rob Ford.
Oh,
Rob
dead
That
currently.
fuck.
And
Yeah,
he's
you know
the
he's
worst
dead, but-
mayor of all time.
He's the worst. He smokes crack in public.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
His brother is currently the premier of Ontario, if I'm not
And he
mistaken.
was actually one of the main reasons
God.
why in Toronto we had an issue with gang violence when he was the mayor.
Oh my god. All right.
Even though that
Rob Ford.
he was very much against gang violence in public, he was hiding that he was really hanging out with those gangs and smoking crack with them. That was, that's why he got cancer. And now the premier of our province, which is like a governor, is his brother, Doug Ford.
Oh man, we're gonna not gonna lie to you guys. We're gonna stop politics right there because this is a sports show.
Yeah.
I
But
won't
yeah,
get into
that's
that, but I will
yeah.
say,
It's all
let me
messed
just
up.
backtrack and just say one of the few. I don't want to. It's hard for me to credit him because of how bad he was. I will have to say, but one of the few things he did try to credit was for whatever reason he had interest in bringing an NFL market into Toronto.
Oh,
who wouldn't?
Speaking about that, I actually found out that he was the main reason why Toronto had an LFL team, which is a league that I don't recommend anyone search up right now
Do it.
because that is very naughty stuff.
It's the best thing ever.
It's
Do
fine.
it.
It's fine. I made sure to put on there that our content's not recommended for kids, so it's completely fine. Do not.
Okay.
Honestly though, I bet you the FCF is just probably as bad because those players do not give a flying fuck.
You got Johnny Football out there.
Johnny Football out there. So okay, so that's
wait,
He played in Canada,
so
actually.
that's another thing I want to bring up.
Didn't
Yeah,
play
so he played a couple years in Canada.
Alouettes.
So that's another thing I want to bring up, though. So there has been talks and rumors that the CFL and the XFL are going to combine and merge. Do you know anything about this? What are your thoughts about this?
So I actually heard a lot about it that the Rock wants to combine with the CFL. I think it's a
Oh, that's
pretty
right.
good idea. Yeah, but
They
I think
play
they
that.
should call it like the International XFL or something.
Something
Why
at
don't
the
they
end.
just
I would watch it.
Why don't they just call it the
And
NAFL?
if
The North American Football League?
Yeah.
Probably. That could probably work.
maybe,
And then,
You
I
got
mean, they
teams
still
that-
got to work out the kinks of the contracts before they can even talk about.
and then they make it a feeder league to the NFL.
Yeah.
NFL is one of the teams that we should honestly have a minor league of some sort. I don't know why the NFL doesn't. With how many players is not only
They
needed,
got
but
college. That's it.
Well, the problem
It's
is, why
because
would
you're
Yeah,
we have college?
you're-
Yeah, because
and look at
The
how many players
lifespan
turn
of
to
an-
busts.
there's a want for football. There's so much of a want and a need for more football, but these leagues that are coming in are just,
that's a good point.
pardon my French, dog shit. Like all these leagues that come in just cannot perform. And so
I
like
think
The USFL, the original XFL, the
the
AAF.
WFL, the
I could say
WFL,
this,
NFL
that
Europe.
North America, not just the US,
Yeah,
North
hey.
America wants more football.
the CFL when they expanded to the United States in '95 for that 1 year only. I mean, that I'm amazed that they even tried to get ambitious to even expand out down south.
It's just
well,
weird because like
Baltimore
people
wanted a
want
football team. That's why.
Oh,
And
sorry,
is that the
Baltimore
reason
wanted a
wanted
football team.
Is that the reason
You know what
why
they
why the NFL is why high school football is so popular in the U.S. from what I was hearing?
Because
Oh
of
yeah,
what?
high school football is big here in the U.S., especially
yeah.
like in Texas.
Especially
Especially go to
in
Texas.
states like California, Texas, Florida.
California, Texas, Florida, Louisiana.
Like middle of the country, like the little podunk states, that is massive. Like especially in like Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Getting
hearing
north.
that Texas high school football is so big there. I
The
heard that,
stadiums
like,
that they
Kyler Murray-
have
My
could
girlfriend-
rival
my girlfriend's from
colleges.
Yeah, I was
Texas.
hearing about the
And-
school that Kyler Murray went to.
I
My
don't
girlfriend
remember
lives in
college.
Texas,
Or
and
I don't remember his high school. Yeah.
like there are more high school there are more people who will follow a high school team than like the Dallas Cowboys or the Houston Texans.
Oh yeah,
It's
no.
funny because I didn't realize
Wow.
that I've been around it my whole life in SoCal, but if you think about it, or guys like to Frank, but like modern day like St. John Bosco, Bishop Morris Elysian,
Those are
like
they're feeder
Upland,
schools. They're feeder
they're
schools.
feeder schools, but like look at they're feeder schools, but for like really prestigious college. I mean USC they would have been if they didn't have Clay Help in there.
It's probably one of the reasons why high school football is so popular, because all of these schools are feeder schools. If you want to watch a good player who might do really well and possibly go to the NFL, you go to those states: Texas, California,
for example,
Louisiana, Florida.
At those 5 schools I just mentioned. Oh yeah, Coop. So in our little pocket of SoCal, there's several prestigious high schools actually that have generated some really notable NFL players, from the likes of Patrick Chung, Robert Woods, Juju Smith, Mark Sanchez, Tony Gonzalez.
Right?
I'm trying to think. Help me list some more.
No, get to the question.
Clay Matthews.
Get to the question.
What?
What's your
I think I
question?
can already tell where you're about to go.
Well, so, because like that's probably the reason why like high school and like college football are so popular, because usually a lot of those players that are in those areas go to the NFL. So it's like catch them now when they're young, and then like when they're like stars, you could say, yeah, I watched them play in college. You don't really have that in a lot of other sports like baseball or the NHL.
Oh, you
really.
do, because remember when Mike Trout used to play for the Rancho Quakes?
For the Rancho. Wait, no. What do you mean the Rancho Quakes?
The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. He used to play for the. Used to
Not
see
the
him when he
Quakes.
played
He
for
played
the
for
Quakes.
the 66ers.
No, he played for the Quakes the final year, 2 years before they traded with the Dodgers.
Oh wait, that's right. I completely forget how long ago he was drafted. I forget
Which is
how
funny
long he
because
was.
2009.
he was almost traded to the Dodgers if you think about it, but then he declared for MLB the season right before.
One thing I want to get into though, and let's definitely get into this first right now. So I think this is the perfect time to have you on, Cooper, because Toronto is making a lot of big, and we're talking Blue Jays. They're making a lot of big moves this offseason. They're looking pretty well. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this season? How do you like the team going right now?
Who would you say in the AL East would give you the hardest time right now with that kind of a lineup? Because I think, in my opinion, because the thing is, the Rays have been dealing with a little bit of a hit from the Randy Arozarena thing and then losing Blake Snell. But I honestly agree with Frank. I think I see the Blue Jays as the top contender in the East.
Same.
Yeah, I think that we are definitely probably the top in the East. I think our biggest fear is probably the Yankees. I think that the Rays might fall off because they lost a couple pieces. They lost Blake Snell and Randy Arozarena, as you guys said.
Arozarena, I don't think he's gone for good though, but he is under a bit of scrutiny right now for the whole DUI and domestic abuse charge in Mexico.
And he was I'm pretty sure the main reason why they had that big playoff run, if I remember.
Yeah.
He had a real.
So I think the Blue Jays they'll probably be in a tough fight with the Yankees and the Rays too, but I think they'll end up beating out both teams and being at least in the AL Championship. I hope in the World Series.
Does Toronto Blue Jays have a playoff problem where they just don't perform that well, or do you think that they could still perform well in the playoffs?
I don't think they have a playoff problem. Are you only saying that because they don't get past the ALCS?
They don't
Is that what you're saying?
They don't. Yeah. So yeah, just like I know, like there's like a lot of teams that'll have. Well, I mean, I know of a great example, the Maple Leafs. They'll have a great regular season, but then the minute they get to the playoffs, just downhill. So you think the Blue Jays have that problem?
I don't think so.
So you have high hopes for them?
I think with how they built their team, they built a very deep team with good players throughout their roster. Because they're at the stage right now where there's the position battles between amazing players, and I know that that Alex probably has experienced it too as a Dodger fan. That when you have a good team, you have to decide very tough choices between really good players, and I think we're definitely at that stage where we're making those choices. which is a sign
Good
that
problem to
we
have.
are going to be
true.
going far in the playoffs.
Pieces from that's true because the pieces of your mid 2010s playoff run teams are falling apart, and they're
Yeah.
I mean they're in a good rebuilding mode. I mean getting Springer and getting Ryu was a definite plus to really get them in the
Yeah,
right.
And
well,
Vlad
we
Jr. is
fully
just hitting
overhauled
bombs
our
left, right, and
roster,
center.
and
Jr.
Yeah,
I
Going
I
on the-
forget Vlad Jr.
going
if
on
you
the
guys look at some of the articles I wrote back in the day when Atkins and Shapiro were originally the GM and president, I was not a fan of them, but now I'm really a big fan of them because they overhauled the entire roster. They did a bunch of stuff that I hated. The worst thing that they did was trading away Josh Donaldson for basically nothing.
I was wondering about that.
That is
because
very true.
They dumped him for.
Yeah, they-
I forgot about that
They
trade.
dumped him for
Oh my god, that was
Is
sad.
he on the Twins still? Or where
So
is he?
Julian Merriweather, think of that name.
Oh, God.
He's a pitcher that had Tommy John surgery the year they traded for him, and he only made it back to the major to playing a full season of baseball this year. He did play in the MLB, and he did look pretty good this past year. He was kind of throwing hard, but you don't trade an MVP for literally nothing.
No,
It's
no.
really funny because like
No,
most of us here
like-
have all been fans of teams who've had either gotten good trades or traded off players terribly.
Wait, I'm remembering now. We
Yeah.
traded freaking Dontrell Willis and Miguel Cabrera for a bag of beans.
You also
You-
have
you-
Christian Yelich, Joe
and
You've
that's
gone
why
through 4
Steve
fire
Gordon.
sales. How can you not be
Chris, I
used to this
think,
by
takes
now,
the cake out of
Chris?
all of us here because his team just had a massive fire sale.
The Marlins.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go kill myself. I'll be right back.
Alex, imagine if your Dodgers traded Clayton Kershaw to the Blue Jays for Julian Merriweather.
Oh, good lord! You know
Oh,
the
that,
thing is,
ouch.
I'm blessed in the sense that
I
Dodgers
mean, at least we
haven't
got
done anything.
something out of freaking Giancarlo Stanton with
The thing is, the Dodgers,
Yeah.
I can't say have done anything that bad since like the '90s during the terrible Frank McCourt days, like when we dumped Pedro Martinez for like scraps to the Expos.
Alex, your guys'
Yeah.
problem for a very long time is you had
the
no
Dodgers
power.
they've been a model organization for a little while now.
Because I mean, we've had some bad moves. Like for instance, well, actually, the only times I could think of when we lost someone big was like when, I guess this was angering, which made us hate the Yankees again. Was when they outbid us to keep Hiroki Kuroda. But that aside, I mean, I can't say we've really. I can't say we've really made any terrible trades in the 21st century.
Really quickly here, Cooper. Where do you see the Blue Jays finishing this season?
Definitely the top of the AL East, or they
agree
could
with
or they could be in a wild card. And the Yankees could be at the top of it. I think it will definitely be a battle, but I'm going to say that they'll win the AL East. I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again.
Just say it
It's
every
not even
single
a
year
hot
until it
take,
comes
it's-
I
right.
wouldn't mind seeing that.
Confidence.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Blue Jays
It's not
make
even a
another
hot
push
take.
again.
because the thing is, the Yankees watch. They're gonna get injured by like July. Watch.
Yeah, and right now they don't even have their manager because what's his name? Aaron Boone.
Yeah, Aaron Boone.
He had
Aaron
heart
Boone. Yeah,
surgery.
he has a
yeah,
heart surgery.
So yeah, he's not there.
What happened
Well,
to
Aaron
uh,
Boone.
then they
My
dumped Didi
prayers go out to
Gregorius.
him, but as a
They
Blue
dumped
Jay
Didi
fan,
Gregorius.
I'm very happy that they don't have their manager because that means they don't have a leader, and that means
That's true,
that
actually.
we'll just
And
Definitely,
need
Stanton
to
has
have
like
them.
glass knees.
No one on that team is definitely elite. There's like nobody who is like taking
Aaron
charge to
Judge
make sure the team is in control.
At times.
Because
Yeah,
Yeah, but Aaron Judge gets injured often.
when you have a team,
He
when
does,
you have a
he's injury
team
prone.
that's a bunch of superstars, that means that they're all fighting to be the leader. So there's not a definitive like,
Yeah.
this guy's the best player, so see he's the leader on the team and he takes charge. They're all
I hate
really
to-
good.
Yeah.
I hate to sound arrogant, but like look in the comparisons between them and the Dodgers. The Dodgers have what looks like on paper to be an extremely volatile lineup. You've got Mookie Betts and Bellinger fighting for the top of the batting lineup, but they in the locker room and out on the town they're best friends. And like if you look at the Yankees situation, it's extremely volatile. They don't have that sense of leadership. And it's just I'm gonna kick this guy's ass to get to the top of the batting lineup. I gotta kick this guy. There's no sense of unity.
If there's anybody that's going to be picked to combust like the Cowboys this season, it'd be the Dodgers. Just the manager absolutely lose the locker room and then their players all
Yeah.
freaking hate each other. That's the one team I guess to do that. Because like that manager's not a leader. He's not.
Dave Roberts.
Um,
Come on. I mean, look at
You,
how
you
we
wish you still had Donnie baseball though. I bet.
yeah.
Probably. Go ahead, Tanner.
I'd like to ask Cooper another question. The Blue Jays have four sons of major sons or relatives of major league talent. That you have Vlad Jr.
I cannot.
I'll rephrase
Okay.
it. I'll rephrase for him. I'll rephrase for him. So, so he says that you have four players on your team who are a relative of some kind to big major league talent.
Do you think that
yeah,
it,
we had it last
that has
year.
an-
We actually had our whole infield were relatives of major leaguers.
Tanner, what's
We
the rest
had,
of the question?
Travis Shaw, Kevin Biggio, and Bo Bichette, and then Vlad Jr.
What's the rest of your question?
That's right.
do you think that is going to help the Blue Jays as a young core? And if so, in what ways?
Is that having those relatives of MLB players, will that help the Blue Jays' young core, or will it actually, or will they just be really good players? Do you think having the experience they have?
I think they already proved the answer to that question, which is going to be that it did help them because those players, they've already had experience in major league locker rooms as kids, so they're already adjusted, and they proved that all in their rookie seasons, which showed how good they are and are going to be in the future.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry,
Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Actually, this is one I've had for a while, which I neglected to bring up when I got on. But, all right, you've been to Montreal now, right? There, Kubert?
I was there when I was a lot younger. I haven't been there like recently. I want to go back there for a while.
I'm curious to know your thoughts on this, but is there a market that still exists there for if if the Rays actually finally relocate north to Montreal?
I think there definitely is a love for baseball still there, but only if they made a new stadium because
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Montreal.
That's for sure.
Olympic Stadium is a really, really bad shit heap of a stadium.
That's for
Oops,
sure.
am I allowed to say that?
No, yeah,
You
no.
can say it, you can
We've been cussing all night.
Bro, we've been cursing the whole time. You're
We've
fine.
been cursing the entire
Now-
fucking time.
Now, my real
Okay.
question is this, though, because the problem is that I've seen reports on Rogers Center that say your infield isn't the best either. But in the same way, I mean, no stadium was as problematic, I guess, near the end of the beginning of the millennium as Olympic Stadium, if we're going to be honest. But
The only reason why people say they don't like our field is because they're not used to having like turf as their synthetic turf is what they're playing on.
that's
Mm.
true.
A
'cause
lot
no
of
one
players
uses
they
it.
actually say that they like having the clay mounds.
Mhm.
Like everyone, they always say after they leave Toronto that the mound is amazing.
Got it. Oh, interesting.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because
Well,
they
'cause-
changed it not long ago. It used
Oh,
to
that's
be
right.
the diamond.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the-
with the little cutout, the little sliding
Yeah, with the little
boxes.
cutout. It
Oh,
used to
that's
be
very
that,
interesting. Didn't think about that.
Yeah,
and then
My-
they
my
changed
other
it
question-
to an actual diamond.
and
My other question is
they
this.
changed it back in 2016. I have a little bit. I have a souvenir of the dirt infield.
Oh yeah.
cool.
Oh,
What's
let's see it.
That's it.
Oh, we were talking before the show, and I'm gonna ask him this.
So official MLB box.
Nice. Oh, that's sick.
So
Very nice.
in there is the official dirt from Rogers Center.
Nice.
That's so cool.
It's honestly funny how much the MLB sells with like memorabilia. How like they'll take
Knickknacks and
anything.
stuff.
If there's a really special game, they'll take
Yeah.
anything from it and sell
Right,
it. Like that's literally a glass ball with
Yeah.
dirt in it, and they sold that. They sold that.
Yeah, and I don't know how much my grandparents paid for that because I think they bought it for me, and They probably got ripped the hell off for
My as a gift for my dad being a season ticket holder of the Kings, he was given for the 2012 Stanley Cup, he was given a puck-sized container with the ice from it, and then for the 2014, he was given a bottle opener, and the base of it was the glass. So they literally take fucking anything and make it
Wow.
memorabilia. Like honestly,
that. You should see how what anyone would do for anything Leafs in Toronto.
I bet.
Oh,
Like
I
people are
bet.
literally crazy for
A
Leafs
shit ton
here.
of times I've seen Austin Matthew pucks pop up as ads. Anyway, Tanner, what do you got?
Oh, his
Yeah, so Tanner has a certificate from the last ever baseball game at what field again?
Metrodome.
At the
Metrodome.
Metrodome. That's a certificate they gave to all the fans of the last ever baseball game at the Metrodome. Can you see his camera, Cooper?
Yeah, I can see his camera. I just can't hear him.
Yeah, no, it's fine, but that's why I'm describing it to you. That's the
Oh,
certificate they gave to
yeah.
all the fans of the very last game
Yeah.
ever at the Metrodome. And it's like signed by the owner and the general manager.
Now I have a quick question.
Okay, last question, Alex.
So, all right. So Cooper, if you had to compare, I guess, considering the debacle with the Rays right now and how desperate they are to get out of Tampa, who would you say would have the worst ballpark for them though? Because they're going to be juggling between two of the worst ballparks in all the MLB if they go back to Montreal right now.
So who has the worst home park between the Rays and
the Montreal
between
ballpark
and Montreal and St. Petersburg?
Tropicana feels
Olympic Stadium and the Trop.
Oh.
The Trop is pretty bad. Hey, the Olympic Stadium at least doesn't have a sloping roof that ruins people's chances of hitting fly balls.
No, but you wouldn't want the stadium to fall in on you during a game. Is that could
that's
still
true.
happen again, maybe. But it is probably reinforced because I'm pretty sure that there's been some MLS games there.
Oh right, because didn't some CFL too? Because don't the Alouettes play there on playoff games?
I think.
The
Yeah,
roof.
but who would you say though has the worst ballpark of the two though, Tampa or Montreal?
Montreal's a lot older, and their stadium does look really bad. And Montreal and Tampa Bay has the Stingray tank.
I mean, like,
I'm really tempted to
it's
say
really
that the
Not
Tampa's
even
is
worse.
better.
It's
And
really
there's
the
no bullpen
difference.
either.
Here's the two differences. One right now has a team. The other one is right now sitting there empty. Like, there's your difference.
One's an abandoned white elephant. yeah.
One's abandoned, the other one's being used. Like, there's your answer, really.
Yeah, but Olympic Stadium shouldn't even be around. It should be demolished.
Yeah, no. If they're
It's
gonna bring a
literally
team
just-
back to Montreal, it has to be a brand new stadium. I wouldn't put them in there.
Yeah.
You can do all the
I mean,
renovating you want. You would be just spending as much money as
It's-
building a new stadium anyway.
It's literally just a nice piece of of kind of architecture for their skyline right now. It doesn't even. It's not even functional.
The exterior,
Just tear the entire stadium down.
the exterior looks really good. I mean, I guess you could keep it for like, I don't know. Well, actually, it even wasn't even that good for concerts because even Guns N' Roses had an issue with the acoustics and started a riot.
It's just not worth it. Honestly, it's just not worth it to be there.
At that rate, though, there's gonna have to be a new ball. Actually, my real
If they
question
did.
is this.
Make it quick. Make it quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. But would there be enough interest, I guess, if they actually reignited it and actually relocated the Rays into the Pearson series, or what's it called, the Pearson Cup 2.0? If they actually move the Rays up to Montreal, would there be enough of a mutual hatred between Montreal and Toronto for something like that for the MLB to
Yeah,
market
there'd
on
be.
finals?
I think there'd be mutual hatred between the two of them because look at the Leafs and the Habs.
Mhm.
They've
That
hated
is
each other
true.
since the NHL became a thing.
It's true.
Montreal and Toronto, they completely hate each other.
Yeah.
That's
like
definitely
Boston
for
and New
sure.
York.
Even if you ask someone in Ontario and Quebec, they both hate each other completely.
I
That's a good point.
definitely.
Now that I
That's
think about
definitely
it-
for sure. That's definitely for sure because like, especially like also
Let's
if you're
go
the only two
Canadian
Canadian
Yankees, Red
teams in the
Sox.
MLB, like you would have to because there's no other competition you'd have when it comes to Canada teams in the MLB.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Kind of like the Grizzlies and Raptors were supposed to be until the owner of the Grizzlies became a greedy asshole and ruined the franchise.
Right. But
Yeah.
anyway,
and the Grizzlies, they were screwed from the start. the Vancouver Grizzlies because who was it? Something Francis was their first. It was their
Steve.
first ever draft pick, and he refused
Steve
to come.
Francis.
I forgot what his first name is.
I forgot it.
Uh,
Grizzlies, though, I feel like the Grizzlies pissed
They
me
were
off
screwed.
because they should have worked. They should have worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should have, but the first pick that they ever had was a complete dud.
mhm.
Mhm.
And in that same draft, the Raptors took, I'm pretty sure it was T-Mac.
Oh, they did take T-Mac.
That's
That's
right.
right. You know what's sad? I find that sad though is that the whole Pacific Northwest is almost completely devoid of NBA, with the exception of
Yeah.
the Trailblazers.
That's true.
And now they're stuck with the with the Mariners and Seahawks. I literally I feel bad for anyone that's a Mariners fan.
That's for true. But we'll go into that on another show. But that's gonna definitely wrap it up. That's gonna definitely wrap it up for today, though, because we're very, very over time. Cooper, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for your insight.
My pleasure.
Cooper gives so much in-depth analysis on Blue Jays baseball. If you want to hear, if you're a type of person who says they actually don't go as in-depth as I would like them to on this show, I'd really want to hear more about it. Cooper goes very in-depth in his videos. His link to his YouTube channel is down below, and on that YouTube channel link, you'll also find all of his other links to his Twitter, his Instagram, and all of those things. So thank you so much. Hopefully we'll have you on another time because this was a great time.
Thanks for joining us, man. It was a
Thank you
pleasure
for joining us.
talking to you, and
Yeah.
getting your
Thank
insight.
you.
It's my pleasure spending my time with you guys because
To all
you don't get to
viewers
see a
out
lot of
there-
Americans very often.
Thank you. To all you viewers out there, Frank, you put
Yeah.
his link in the channel, in the description, right?
Yeah, so the link to his channel is in the description. Definitely go check him out.
Go check his channel out. Honestly,
Definitely.
I really enjoyed having a guy like this on a discussion. Imagine what kind of stuff he probably posts. I mean, that sounds really instigating to really
For
get
sure.
real in depth.
There's also links to our social medias down below, our Twitter, our Instagram, and also our Discord server that we're now making public. Come join us and come talk sports. We all talk sports down there regularly. A lot of us are on there most of the time talking about all stories, everything going on, because sports happens every single day, not just the days that we're live here. So definitely go check that out. Hey guys, so much for watching. Make sure to come check us out every Mondays and Wednesdays. If you like what you saw, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content here on the Parking Lot YouTube channel.
To this gentleman, and please enjoy.
Yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, guys.
And everybody, have a great rest of your night.
Yeah.
See ya.
We're through?